First of all, Happy New Year to everybody. Great to see you. I want to talk about last week real quick. I'm still learning, still growing, still trying to become that leader and that head coach everybody wants you to be. And that's a process, and it's a growth process. And I'm working really, really hard at that. I was truly apologetic to Miles and his family. I apologized to Miles right after the game. I know you know some of this already, but I called his father first thing next morning. I thought that was really important to let them know how I felt, because I love Miles. I love my players. I'm truly energetic about them, passionate about them, and I build deep relationships with them. And we're going to channel that energy and that passion better moving in the future here. But Miles is a terrific kid, and his parents were real supportive, and I appreciated that. So, moving forward, Nebraska, good team, top 25 team. Play there. James Palmer's playing high-level basketball. Copeland's playing great. Watson's playing great. 3 seniors. And for us, we have to stop turning the ball over, and we have to start making some open shots. I thought we played great at Michigan. I really did. We went toe-to-toe with the #2 team in the country. And, a shot here, one less turnover there, and I think we're a lot closer than people might think. So I'm excited about working with this group. I'm excited about getting back to practice and getting better.
You stole my thunder a little bit with the growth and learning from this experience. But
yeah.
What are you hoping to take away from this? And is there anything that you think that the team has maybe taken away from it in terms of rallying around you or getting closer together?
Look, like I said, I'm an energetic guy. I have a lot of passion, and I just need to channel it a little bit better. I thought I was having, over the years, you guys know me, I've been doing a really good job. And I have to stay on that path, stay on that course. Keep teaching, keep teaching the kids, keep getting them better. And myself, I don't know everything, I don't know everything. I know I'm 48, we think we know everything. We don't. We have to keep growing and have that growth mindset. I think that's where I'm at. And I'm going to do that. I'm going to keep working really hard and take it one day at a time to be the best leader, coach, and mentor I can be for these young men.
And then specific to Miles and his family, how did they receive your apology? And I guess in the moment, did it seem like what it became?
I'll start with the last first. It did not. And they've been great. Miles has been coached hard his whole life. His dad and I have a great relationship. We're D2 guys, Millersville Textile. So we go way back, know each other well. He committed as a sophomore. So our relationship is really strong, because that's a long time to be committed and stay loyal and finally get to coach you. So they appreciated me reaching out, and they've been, very good.
Pat, how difficult was it not being able to coach in that game, especially given the way that it went against Wisconsin? I can't imagine that it was something that was easy for you.
It wasn't easy. It was not easy. It was very difficult. Actually, I didn't watch the first couple minutes because I was just the anxiety of it. I just couldn't handle it. But I finally mustered up enough courage to watch it, and it was hard, and it was hard. That's all I can say. It was very difficult for me to watch that game from the basement of my house.
And what has the reaction been like from your family, from your friends? I saw Tom Izzo kind of had some comments to make. What has that reaction been like in terms of texts and calls and stuff that you may have gotten?
We really appreciate the support for the program. We really do. There's been a ton of people who have reached out and said some nice things to support us, and obviously I appreciate them. But my focus is Miles and his family, and to make sure how much they know I'm sorry for what we did and apologetic, and do the best we can for them.
And do you feel as if you can now put this completely behind you, or is this something that's always going to be kind of in the back of your head?
I think that's going to be a one day at a time. I think that's going to be a one day at a time thing. I'm just going to tackle each day as they come, and just keep working on myself, again, my leadership, keep growing, because sometimes it's going to come up. And that's the nature of what this business is. So I just, one day at a time, keep getting better.
I'm curious what coaching this year has been like for you.
And I knew it, but go ahead.
Mentally, because I would say that you've actually gotten generally calmer on a net average as the years have gone along compared to when you were sort of the
fiery, energy,
you're a different,
young coach.
You're a different kind of coach.
Now that I have white hair,
yeah,
now I got
what,
you.
What hair is left, and you've always had the luxury of lots of old guys by the nature of just how things have sort of cycled through, and you're not that team probably for the first time ever. I mean, how is that different for someone that has known what he's going to get from guys, and now you're not sure what you're going to get from guys, and now you've got to figure out how to get it out of those guys at the same time?
Yeah, it's been an awesome challenge. I've been embracing this. I'm the optimist, forever the optimist. And the younger guys are really trying. And the older guys are trying. Lamar is trying to really lead, and Josh is trying to help. And we're trying to get there. I mean, we've already played 9 or 10 different lineups, starting lineups, to trying to find the right formula for this team and the right rotation pattern. It's really not about the starters. It's about probably 13-minute mark to the 5-minute mark where we start to falter a little bit. But these kids come in every day with a great mindset. And I'll go back to something you first said. I have the experience now in the Big Ten of I kind of know what to expect. I kind of know what to expect from opponents, from different coaches, from different styles of play. So I do have that experience. And it has been quite some time since we've had a young team. Maybe Tony's first year, maybe my first couple of years here. We've had some youthful teams. So it's brought me back to those times. And it's been hard because of the patience that you need to bring back. You know, last year we had a really talented group that figured it out a little bit late, but they reached their potential, and I was really proud of that team. And now you still have the high expectations. You still want to push. You still want to drive. You still want to get them to where they need to go as players and as men. But yet we're very young. We're playing guys at critical spots that don't have much experience in the Big Ten. And they're growing up, and they have to continue to do that.
Sunday was the first game that really got away from you guys. Could you put your finger, I mean, typically, even if you were losing the game, you'd kind of scrap your way back. Can you put your finger on maybe what wasn't quite right there in the second half when it got to 24 or whatever it was?
I thought my staff did an awesome job. We were prepared. I ran practice. I ran walkthrough. I was involved in every preparation, every step of the way, and Keith did a great job. I just think there's sometimes when the head coach isn't there. I'll go back to the old substitute teacher to give everybody an analogy you can really understand. And even when I was at Villanova and Jay let me run practice, there's always a little bit of a difference. And I think you may have seen that in the second half. There's always that little bit of a difference. But live ball turnovers can really deflate you. And we didn't show that at Michigan. We battled through. And I think, 16 turnovers, it really hurt. 19-4 points off of turnovers. And, we had some open shots. We're breaking down that offense like no other staff of what we can do. Are we putting guys in the right position? What do we have to change? What do we have to wrinkle? Or do we just keep getting better at what we're doing and the shots are going to fall once these guys continue to get the experience that they need to play in the Big Ten? So we're going to keep working at that. But I think, that has something to do with it too. The turnovers and the missed shots.
Pat, you mentioned the young guys at critical spots, and one of those obviously is who's running the offense. You've had some different guys running the offense, whether it's Rozier or even Josh and Lamar at times. How difficult has that been this year, losing a guy like Tony who was just in command and in control, and he had a calm presence about him at point guard, and now Rozier's a little bit erratic. Obviously, he's a freshman learning, but have you, as a staff, tried to manage that and tried to find the right guy to lead the offense?
Yeah, by putting different guys at that spot, trying to take the pressure off of Rozier. The point guard spot's critical. It's like being a quarterback. It's Trace McSorley. You're the conductor. You're the one who's putting everybody in the right spots and making sure that they know where to be and know where to cut, know where to screen, know where to pass, know where shots are supposed to be coming. You need to be the loudest. You need to be loud. You need to be in control. You need to be in command. So I noticed last year when we put Josh there because Tony was shooting the ball so well, Shep was shooting the ball so well, we put Josh there. And that was the solution. To lose a guy like Tony Carr, he was drafted for a reason, right? I mean, it's good news, bad news. The good news is we finally had a draft choice. The bad news is we became really young. And we can't hide that anymore. You guys know that. I know that. We're 313 out of 355 as far as experience. But I don't want to make excuses. Tony was a heck of a player. Heck of a player. One of the greats of all time, if not the greatest point guard that we've had. And that's Taylor Battle and that's Tim Frazier. But he's 6'5". He had a calming. He could read ball screens. He would rebound the basketball. He was special. And he was shooting 50% for the first half of the season. He was a maestro. Heck of a player. We don't want to put that pressure on Rozier Bolton. That is not fair. He's just got to continue to get better. Now, Josh is a senior. We need more. We need more from Josh Reeves. He's got to start playing like a senior. And he's got to make those reads off ball screens. And he's got to make those extra passes. And he's got to step up a little bit more. Mike's got to get a little bit more consistent. Lamar's doing everything he can. He's trying. He's doing everything he can. But, our sophomores need to give us more. Big Johnny was great at the team. We need more. We need more. So, again, we just keep developing, keep working with them, keep showing them film, see how we can get better in practice, and then try to compete as hard as we can. Put guys out there that are going to give us everything that they got. Sorry for the long answer. I was passionate about that one.
What is the key to unlocking Josh at his full potential? And is it fair to say that you probably expected more from what you've gotten from him to this point in the season?
Yeah, no doubt. But I think with Josh, he wants to be perfect. He wants to play so hard. He wants this so badly that sometimes you don't play as well as you could. Or really, the biggest issue I see is foul trouble. He's sitting for 8 to 10 minutes every game. And I have to play a lineup with 3 sophomores, or sometimes, 3 freshmen, a sophomore, and a junior, which is Lamar. John's a sophomore. Trent's a sophomore. Jamari's a sophomore. Coming off the bench with Emmett, he's a freshman. That hurts us. That hurts us. So I just feel it's coming. He's ready to break out. It's coming. That first 20 minutes of Maryland, he doesn't have to give me 17 or 15 in the first half, but just stay out of foul trouble, produce, stay on the floor somehow, make everybody better, lead, and don't be afraid what you put out there. Don't be afraid. Just go out and play and have some fun. He's got to go back to having fun.
And then where is Mike at physically, emotionally, mentally, whatever? Where do you feel like
physically he's still got a lot of room of growth. He's not in the best shape still, and mentally it's one day at a time. He's still got a lot of work to do there, and we're still monitoring him very closely in that regard, which is the most important thing. So that's a day-to-day thing, and we'll see how that continues.
Do you feel like you've seen improvement out of him though through the span that he's played, the 10 games or whatever it is?
Again, this is 11 games he's played in. He's been out for 8 months, 10 months. Yeah, well, wasn't 11 Wisconsin? Or no? Okay. So he's going on 11. No, it's going on 11. He's not all the way back yet, physically. I thought Michigan, there was hope, there was hope. He played really well, 8 for 11, did some good things, double-double. But we're not getting that every night, and that's the goal. And that could take us another 5 or 6 games. But I think he'll come around eventually. And
then one more question, if I can.
Yeah, sure.
What's the? I mean, obviously we see him for games, and those are spaced, 4 days apart or whatever it is.
Yeah.
What's the day-to-day with him in practice? Is he consistent in practice? What is he kind of showing you on a daily basis?
I think what you're seeing is what we're seeing in practice. There's some really good spurts, some really good stretches, and then there's some not so good. And that's the daily of what he's doing on his daily basis. We're making sure he's getting to his counselor and getting to class, study hall, all that good stuff. So it's really a day-to-day thing. And in practice, again, we're getting some good practices, and then we're getting some just okay.
When you have a grind like this to open the Big Ten, how do you judge success? I mean, especially with a younger team.
I'm going to go back to Michigan. It's a really good question. We're 5 right now, strength of schedule overall, which is really good, right? We wanted to challenge. The non-con was really, really hard. But when I looked at what we did at Maryland and Indiana, I felt like Indiana should have won. I felt like, all right, we're close. We missed 16 free throws. You went to Michigan and played the second best team in the country, maybe the first, the second best defense in the country, and I thought we went toe-to-toe. I was so optimistic after that game and so upbeat. I felt like we were getting to a place where I really we need to go to be the best team we can be in the Big Ten, to compete at a high level and be the best team we can be by the end of the year. So I was really upbeat after that game, even though we lost, because I thought we were right there. A couple possessions here, a couple less turnovers there, a couple good shots. So if we can, again, if we can put all these pieces together, we can get everybody on the same. We haven't had Josh on the same page with Lamar. We had Lamar and Mike. We haven't had all three of them on the same page, and we only getting one freshman. So if we can get everybody on the same page, look, we battled Alabama. They just beat Kentucky. We battled DePaul. They just beat Seton Hall. We battled NC State, and we got away from us with 6 minutes to go, but they're top 15 now. So there's stretches where we're doing it. We just need to do it for the full 40.
With all your freshmen that you have, is there a way to prepare them for this Big Ten grind, or do they just have to experience it and you learn from that?
Yeah, it goes back to Tony Lamar and their freshman year. They got to experience it. They got to go through it, and they got to grow from it and learn from it and really understand the challenges mentally and physically. It's a physical league. Brad Davidson is as physical as they come. Hap is as physical as they come. The way Iverson's a senior, Pritzel was a senior. Those guys are physical players, and they got to understand that we need more from everybody. We need a little bit more if we want to get to the top half of the league.
Moving forward, how do you prevent hesitancy within your team in terms of when things go wrong, whenever it happens on the season, that they know that how you react, you have their best interests in mind, and something like last Thursday doesn't happen?
They know how much I love them, and it's not personal. And I try to form really good relationships, genuine and authentic relationships with my players. It's not always about basketball. I talk to them about life. I talk to them about girls. I talk to them about school. I talk to them about their hobbies, what they like, what they enjoy, what they eat, what movies. I just think there's a whole another level that we as coaches can get to know our players to help them become the best men, the best leaders, the best husbands, the best fathers that they can be. And ultimately, that is really, on the outside, my job is to win games. But on the inside, my job is to develop men. And when you develop men, winning comes second. And we did get a 2.85, the highest team GPA we've had in 8 years. So the guys are working hard. The culture's really good.
What's the hardest part about going from almost being there to actually being there in terms of?
Yeah, it's next level thinking. It's next step thinking. It's, you see some coaches out there, even James Franklin said it during the year, that next step to get to that status. We need a couple more stops. We need a couple less turnovers. And we need that hunger and desire, that competition level. Get lost in competition. I think we have to battle one possession at a time, too. Not looking at the time, not looking at the score, not thinking about results, not thinking about, oh, my gosh, we're 7 and 8. And you can't, somehow, some way, we have to stay present, stay in the moment, stay positive, and try to stay level.
I was thinking whether I was going to ask the other question, but I am. Not a bad one. I did it for 5 of your losses. Under the 12-minute timeout in the second half, you're shooting almost 15% lower than you were for the rest of that game, the previous 28 minutes. That's threes. It's everything, and you've shot pretty much evenly in terms of distribution. So it's everything. How do you get guys to not? If you're playing pretty good basketball for 28 minutes and then you get under 12 minutes and everything kind of falls off a statistical cliff at least, how do you keep those last 12 minutes? Because it seems like in a lot of respects, in some of these losses, you've played pretty good basketball, but then there's this moment where it just kind of...
Yeah, we hit a dry spell.
Yeah.
Got to play with confidence. And you guys know this. You've heard me for a long time. That's one thing I allow my guys to do. They, on offensive end, play with confidence. You got an open shot, you got to stick it, especially if that's your role and that's your value on this team. Shoot with confidence. Get to the free throw line I think we've had a few more wins if we would shoot 70 to 72% from the free throw line now. And I'm not asking for a lot. I said 70 to 72. I think it would help us. But again, guys got to go there, not think of time and score, have one positive, intelligent thought and your routine and shoot it. But we have to keep putting ourselves in those situations and learn from those experiences. And the shots will eventually fall. I believe that.
Are the turnovers a symptom of something else, or is there anything that you can do to alleviate those, or are they purely decision-making issues?
So I would say some are decision-making. Some we have to get better out of the double team. You know, some guys are getting double teamed, so we have to do a good job there. Some we're playing too fast, and some we're not in the right spots. Because our half-court defense is really good, but it's very difficult when you're playing transition defense all the time. It's 3-on-1, 4-on-1, 3-on-2s, 4-on-2s. I don't think any defense can hold up. At least we're trying. But if we can limit those, and we're working on them in practice, so we have to keep forming the best habits that we can form to minimize those turnovers. We need shots. Let's get some more shots up. You know, I'm telling Jamari, shoot the ball, shoot the ball. You know, shoot with confidence. Get out there and play. Shoot with confidence. He works on it. He's in here all the time. Just go ahead. Same thing with Trent. Trent had a great game against Alabama. I haven't seen you guys in a while. He played great. He was our leading scorer. They have 4 pros on that team easily. They're freaks. And he played great. Keep shooting the ball. He was shooting 60% there for a stretch of 5 games. But we got to keep working on it, and we will. And everybody just got to minimize. They're overthinking. Just play and have some fun.
Going back to Josh, how can you maybe unlock some of his offensive potential? Because for over 3.5 years now, we've seen how good he can be on the defensive end, long arms, getting deflections and getting fast break dunks. And
I think the 2 fouls is really messing with him. He was excited about playing the point. I thought he did some good things at the point. He looked more energized and really looked into it, knowing that he was going to facilitate and make plays for others and then shoot. I think the 2 fouls has really messed him up a little bit because he's getting too quick. Before, sometimes before the 12, sometimes definitely before the 8, and because he's the steal master, right? He's top 3 now, right? Top 5, top 3 in steals. He's probably up there in the Big Ten. But I think he's got to be a little bit more cognizant of staying on the floor and we need his big body out there and we need his leadership out there.
Do you expect him to are you still going to experiment with him at the point guard spot? Because he is the senior leader on the team, and he knows what it takes to win in the Big Ten, and what he knows for 4 years now what this offense needs to do to be successful.
Yeah, I'm going to move him around. We start him at the point the last 4 games, I think. And, we've had some success and not so success. So I think the best thing to do would move him around and put him in spots where he's going to be successful, therefore would make our team successful.
And looking ahead to Nebraska, it's been a tough place to play for a couple of years now. What do you think has translated into that? And this specific Nebraska team, they've gotten better and better over the last couple of years. What do you think Coach Miles has done specifically to?
Well, they're older. They're starting 3 seniors and a junior, and that always helps. Their environment is awesome. It's off the charts. Student section's right behind me, screaming and yelling. So they have a home court advantage. It's loud. It's crazy. It's it's good. It's good. And Tim's done a great job, man. He's done a great job of recruiting. He's done a great job of when he's going through his stormy seas, so to speak. He's always figured it out. And that's what he's doing now. That's why they were a top 25. I know they had a couple losses, but they were on the road. But they play very well at home. James Palmer's terrific. Copeland's terrific. Watson's had a great career there. And you add Roby in there, who's a 5-man that could shoot threes and is an incredible athlete. And I think that's why they're finding a lot of success this year.